Does the left have a plan to dominate every step of the electoral process on Tuesday? I think I'm only smiling because it's a Friday. Glenn Beck detailed their 5-step plan to take over the election in a recent article on Blaze News, and he joins us now to discuss it, along with Blaze News editor-in-chief, Matthew Peterson. So, Glenn, what could happen? I mean, they go through this, and they have the 5 different steps.
Yep.
Step 1 is winning the vote. How are they going to fortify this election?
Winning the vote, it's amazing because all of these are like, yeah, okay, well, we got to win the vote. But that begins on election day. This is, going in, making sure that you have absolutely everybody you can get out and vote. And if there's any legal things that have to happen before, you get Mark Elias on the phone and you position. This is why they're not, some people are like, oh, yeah, well, we're not asking for ID. Okay, well, that's all about winning the vote, finding the ways legally to either change the law or to just look the other way to win the vote. Then the next one is win the count. This is the one that everybody is concerned with, winning the count, because we saw it last time. All of a sudden, they just stopped counting at 10:30 at night. I remember watching Peter Jennings at, 4 o'clock in the morning in the 2000 election. He kept going. But this time we just stopped counting? When did that happen? That's where the shenanigans usually happen. Okay, now we have to win the count. We have to make sure that we start planting the seeds that we don't really know. We don't know who won or lost. This is a crucial step. Then the next one, and this is all of the things that the left said that Donald Trump did that was so wrong. Winning the certification. Each state has to certify the vote and seat the electors. Well, I know because I know Alan Dershowitz, who was on the Gore team, that they were told by their attorneys, you have to seat different electors. If you don't seat them, I think it's by like December 16th or December 20th, if you don't seat a different set or slate of electors, when you get to January 6th, you don't even have a case because you have to have that different slate. So winning the certification, they've got to win that and then set new electoral college electors in. After that, it's winning the transition, to do everything you can to make sure that the last worst case scenario is disrupt. They've already done a documentary on this. I talked about it on my show on Wednesday night on BlazeTV about wargaming, how they get through from election night to January 20th. And I think it's good that the government does wargaming. Unfortunately, these war games are being done by leftists. These are all being done. I mean, the most conservative is Bill Kristol, and he hates Donald Trump, okay? That's the most conservative you have. And they wargamed what it's going to take to make sure that no shenanigans are going on. Well, I have a feeling, just like everything else, we disagree on what shenanigans are. We disagree on the truth. We were seeing it today with them claiming that Donald Trump is calling for the execution of Liz Cheney. That's not what he said. Except that's not misinformation if it comes from them. That's not dangerous coming from them. That's the problem with all their war games. They're outlining everything that Donald Trump legally was stating he was going to do. They're now saying they can do it to save the republic. People don't know.
This is the thing that we try to talk about, so people are aware.
Be prepared.
This could happen. But backing up a little bit and just looking at the election itself, put their shenanigans aside.
Yeah.
You've seen a fair amount of elections, and
he's calling me old.
Yeah. Nice way though.
Yeah, very nice way. Yeah.
Well, and you've been involved in the zeitgeist. You're right there, finger on the pulse. So when you look at this one, does it remind you of anything in the past?
Never. Yes and no. Yes and no. Never, because everything is so unusual. Okay. I mean, we have seen this guy in handcuffs. We've seen him at McDonald's in a garbage truck, getting up, saying fight after he's been shot with blood on his face. We've never seen anything like this election. However, it feels like every election that is when the country is off track. Right now, only 28% of America says we're on the right track. 28%. The magic number is 25 or 26%. No one's ever won an election as an incumbent at 26%. And even if it's not the incumbent, it's somebody from that party. They don't win. So that feels familiar. If you take out these plans from the left on setting the country on fire, if you take out those well-stated, well-thought-out plans, there's a good chance this is a landslide. Because I think what you have is those numbers, even Nate Silver said today on 538, all of these polls, they're wrong. They're lying to you. He said, because nothing is that consistent. There's no outlier polls anywhere. Somebody has their thumb on the scale. And it's probably just from cowardice from these polling places. They don't want to be the one that said he's ahead by 12 points or she's ahead by 12 points. And if you look at what's happening with Trump on Joe Rogan, 100 million views. Kamala on Charlemagne the God or any other podcast, should be big, 700,000 views. There's no passion. And I think on the left, you can talk a good game, but people know this isn't working. This is not good. And she's not giving me confidence that she can even do the job. And I think that when you go into a voting booth, if you even get to the voting booth, you may not want to tell anyone you ever voted for Donald Trump. You might say, I voted for Kamala. I'm part of that team. But I think there's going to be a lot of people that don't, that say they are, but don't, and will never tell anybody.
Do you think so? If this is overwhelming, if there is a statement made by the American people, and it becomes clear, look, the polling, someone had their thumb on it, everything else like that, it strikes me that matters because if they try all these shenanigans, right?
If it's a landslide, if we know on Tuesday night, which a landslide would do, if we know on Tuesday night, they can't pull any of this stuff. They can't. It'll be clear. And, I don't expect a Walter Mondale kind of landslide, but possibly a Barack Obama landslide. If that happens, it's clear the American people, this is the election I have wanted for so long. We are shown, if you care to look at it, socialism and the end of the American way of life, or a scrapping of all of the crap that's been going on, and being a conservative, saving the stuff that works, but cutting all of the waste, cutting all of the garbage, all the lies, all the cronyism. That's what RFK, Elon Musk are promising to do, along with Donald Trump. That's exciting. One of those visions is truly inspiring. And to me, it's Donald Trump's vision. I've wanted for a long time. Give us a choice. Give us a choice. This is the clearest choice in my lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And I love that it's so clear, right? Because if things are as bad as they are, I hope and pray that we don't have to figure out and see how much worse they would have to get before we get anything clearer than this election. But Glenn, I just want to know, how do you feel going into next week? Just with everything on the table, we know what's at stake. What are you feeling?
Two things. I'm feeling optimistic.
Whoa.
That means nothing, but I'm feeling optimistic, and consistently optimistic. Only changed when I look at what they're doing behind the scenes. People are starting to freak out about all of they're finding cheating. They found these ballots. They found these ballots. That's good. Last time we didn't hear that until after. That means we're doing our job. That means the states are finding corruption right now and stopping it. The other thing that I feel is no matter what happens, it's going to be for the good. God's not done with this country. He's not. I have thought for many years, we may be beyond saving because we're not humble. We're not. I don't think he's done with us. And that's all that matters. It'll be for our good no matter what happens.
Amen to that. I mean, the idea of providence needs to come back.
It does. It does. But it
everybody.
is. I mean, I was just with a group of people in Florida. There is a God movement that is beginning to happen, and people are waking up. That's why Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Elon Musk, these are all people that don't agree with each other or me or Donald Trump, but they're all saying, we have to do something different. And just resetting back to factory settings of the Bill of Rights will do it.
One thing I'm going to hang on to after this is the idea of the death of the media regardless.
Oh.
Because it feels like to me, either way, you are going to win in this election, having made a bet years ago on the direction of media and what was needed.
Yeah, I think the American people definitely win. This is the last television election, definitely the last television election. The media has so discredited itself. There's no self-reflection. There's no, like, maybe it's us. None of that. They're going to double down on the people are stupid. And so when you see the kinds of numbers that Donald Trump can get, 100 million with Joe Rogan, why would I do a debate on ABC and get 20 million? Why? It's over.